everybody? Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. 2,500 point battle, number 23. Tis I, Lord Tremendous of the Ogre Cons, versus Big Daddy of the Vampire Coven. This is my usual Vampire Coven opponent, and yes, he has changed his list up a little bit, and yes, it is a very good game. So sit back, relax, and let Kermit the Frog here walk you through this one. Here's my list, and there's a few small changes. I did a little bit here and there, trying out a new unit, so my kits on a few of my characters changed slightly. I still have my Great Shaman, Kaka Shabadu. He's still level 3 wizard, but now he's got the Razor Blade, only so he has magical attacks. That's it. I had to lose the Screaming Blades because I needed the 5 points. He's still got the Demon Heart because I won't leave home without it. He's still got the Talisman of Greater Shielding, and he follows the Path of Butchery. Here's my hero choices. I still have my Khan. He's still my BSB. He's got the Ogre Crossbow, or I gave him a Ogre Crossbow. I don't ask. He's got Flesh Render still, Mithril Mail, Talisman of Lesser Shielding, and I took Rotten Jaw off him just to try something out. Then, of course, I still have my Shaman, the Combustor. He's still level 2 wizard with Skull Splitter and using the Path of Fire, so no change here. And of course, I still have the man, the myth, the legend, my Mammoth Hunter, Lord Tremendous. He's still got his trusty Ogre Crossbow, his Heart Rippers, his Yeti Furs, the Gem of Dragonfire, Troll Eater, and his Tusker War Teddy. Yes, he's still one of my favorites. My core choices have not changed. I still have my 7x Tribesmen, the good old boys. They still have a Banner Musician, Iron Fists, and Heavy Armor. Then, of course, I have my unit of 5 Tribesmen, the Inner Council, with Banner Musician, Iron Fist, Heavy Armor, and they have the Banner of Discipline. Last but not least, I have my 4x Bruisers, the Dour ones. Starting off my special choices, I got 5 Scrappling Trappers, or my favored pets. Then I've got my Mercenary Veterans, 6 of them, the Storm of Retribution. They've got a Banner, Musician, Iron Fist, Lethal Strike, Thunderous Charge, and I gave them the Banner of Speed to get them into combat as soon as possible. And then I decided to take 3 Yetis. I wanted to try them out. I wanted to try them as a flanking unit. I like that they Vanguard. I like that they're Skirmishers. I like that they're Strength 5. There's a lot of likes about these guys, but the first time I used them, I had to kind of throw them away to get them out of the way for a really bad charge. And so I felt like I really didn't give them a good enough shot, so I wanted to give them yet another shot. So not only did I take him, I found a points to take a third. So hopefully this unit works out, and if not, well, we'll see where it goes. And then I've got my baby girl right here, my Kin Eater, Lady Elizabeth. You do not want to mess with her. Starting off my rare choices, I've got my Slave Giant, and I'm really glad to have this guy back. I like the model, I like the unit, I like that do as you're told rule where I get to re-roll what he gets on the chart. He's very, very useful, and for 150 points, the only way to make him better is if I took the Hellfist, and I don't want to give up my Hunter, so this guy, I'm glad he's back. And then, of course, the one, the only, the friggin' keystone, bedrock of my army. My Frost Mammoth, Rufus! And his riders have a couple of Ogre Crossbows. But yeah, this friggin' guy. Love Rufus. So yeah, that's going to do it for my list. As usual, I'm going to play some music and show you what my opponent's got. If you want to see what he has, feel free to stop the video at any time and see it for yourself. for my spells, which are exactly what you're looking at. And here's deployment. In the interest of saving time, I'm going to try to blaze through this, trying to bring my reports down to around 40 minutes total-ish. From left to right on my side of the table, I've got my proxied Yetis. I know they look like bombardiers. They're proxied Yetis. Then I've got my slave giant, my mercenary vets, my inner council with my great shaman. I've got Rufus. I've got my other unit of tribesmen with my BSB installed. I got Lord Tremendous next to them. I got the Combustor and my dour ones in the field there. I know it looked like paper towels. That's because they are. It's actually a field we're using. The terrain, as you can see, is kind of a lot, kind of weird the way it's placed. We decided to go right by the book. I don't know if we got it exactly right, but we got a lot of walls. So, we've got a bunch of ruins, we got some walls, got a hill, got a couple of water features. Actually, we got a ton of walls and a ton of ruins. So, it's not the prettiest board on the planet, but it's different, and we wanted to try it out, and I think it'll make things interesting. You can see the little tokens, the poker chips in the table. Those are objectives. I think it was objective 6. I'm not 100% on that. We're just trying secondary objectives, and for every objective that you hold, we're doing 100 victory points for them because we don't really play with battle points. So not for friendly games anyway. So that's how the board is kind of set up. My opponent. He's got some skeleton knights on the left side there. He's got no, I'm sorry, those are his dire wolves with his with a character in them. He's got his unit of skeleton knights right next to them. Behind them is his shrieking horror. Next to him is a huge unit of skeletons with his general installed. In the ruins in the middle there, top middle, are his ghouls. Right next to them are his vampire knights, and next to them are a huge unit of zombies. I, of course, still have Elizabeth that's going to be ambushing, and for the most part, when I set up, I just threw my stuff down because I wanted to go first. I knew he was coming for me. He has to. Vampires don't do gun line very well, and so I put stuff in the middle, and I got ready to just tear into him. As you can see, my trappers are in the top right ruins there, and they're going to move up and just try to harass those zombies, maybe even make them turn around. So that's pretty much deployment. Here's top of one after movement, and I went first. Yay! Everything shot forward. I was daring him to charge me. My Yetis moved up into the ruins. I didn't know where his direwolves or his skeleton knights were going to go, but I know they charge really far. And I didn't want his shrieking horror to be able to just fly over to me and scream my Yetis off the table. So I moved him into the ruins in the vague hope that they would survive. And if something did charge them while they were in the ruins, maybe, some dangerous terrain. Who knows? Who knows? My slave giant moves up cautiously for the same reason. I didn't want him to get charged by the knights. The merc vets move up because I dare ya. Actually, I was kind of throwing him out there as a target for his shrieking horror. I was just, better to attack something that has a bunch of wounds as opposed to one of my monsters. Rufus goes into the water, and that's when I realized you can't march through water. So my inner council and Rufus end up in the water, and they're stuck there moving at movement 6 for a couple of turns. My mistake. My tribesmen, Lord Tremendous, and the Combustor move up to start laying some pain on the what's it called? The Vampire Knights, because now that I know they have 2 wounds, they get double the attention. My dour ones move up through the field, and I completely forget about my trappers, so they sit in the top right in the ruins, laughing because they'll probably survive this game. So yeah, that's it for movement. During the magic phase, I get a big bone crusher off on the Vampire Knights, and yet I only wound once. Yeah, just couldn't slip the wounds through. Just bad rolling. Dice are waking up, that's all. And just in case my tribesmen get charged by the Vampire Knights or everything, I gave them the Flaming Swords augment. I was able to get it off on them. That way it's easier for them to wound those knights if they end up in combat with them. Nothing else happens in my turn, so we go over here to bottom of 1 after movement, and my opponent does charge. His Skeleton Knights slam into my Mercenary Veterans and make it. I was impressed, and he did have to take dangerous terrain for going over the wall, I believe, and made every single test. Like, no problem. I thought he'd lose 1 or 2. He lost 0, which really sucks. His Shrieking Horror ran over to scream at my Giant, and I should have seen that coming. I really should have, and I didn't. So that sucks. I'm worried about my Giant a lot right now. And the rest of his army kind of holds back as skeleton warriors try to come up a little bit, but they got stuck behind a horror. The direwolves just kind of repositioned slightly to look at the yetis. His vampire knights stay right where they're at. His zombies stay right where they're at, and the ghouls stay right where they're at. So not a lot of unit by the dead stuff. There's a better picture of his skeleton warriors, or skeleton knights, I'm sorry, slamming into my merc vets. With the BSB is in that unit, so this will be a tough fight. I really wish I had failed that charge. Nothing happens in his magic phase, but in his shooting phase, his shrieking horror screams at my giant and explodes him into giant-sized bits. That sucks a lot. I was really looking forward to using my giant too, and one shot, one kill. 6 auto hits at strength 10. That's a son of a gun. I don't mind telling you. I'm going to combat, and I don't do so well. I'm able to kill, I think, 4 of them, and he's able to kill 2 of mine. So yeah, he did 6 wounds, charged, and has 2 banners. I did 4 wounds, and I have a banner, so I lose by 4. I am not steadfast, and my merc vets break and run the hell away, which, that really sucks. I needed, I think, a 5 to stay. I did not have a reroll, and, yeah, it didn't work out. They broke and ran, and luckily they did not get run down. I think I ran 10 or 11 inches, and he ran like 7 or 8. So I got lucky that I have a chance to rally him and turn him back around, but not the way I wanted this battle to start out. So we go over here to top of 2 after movement, and there's a little bit. My Yetis and my Inner Council charge the Shrieking Horror because with the Knights and the Merc Vets out of the way, I have the charge. The Yetis make it no problem. The Inner Council fails spectacularly, I don't mind telling you. So that sucks, because I'm almost positive the Yetis don't have that combat by themselves. I was hoping with charge, double flank, big flank, rank, and a banner, maybe, I could pop the thing just on combat res alone. I know he's going to scream at me, but I know I'm going to go first, so I was just hoping that be able to put enough wounds through that he just pops in combat res and I don't have to worry about him for the rest of the game, but then the Inner Council didn't make it. So crap. Tremendous charges into the zombies, and the idea there was just start taking them out. I figured if his Vampire Knights did countercharge him in the flank, Tremendous could hold for a turn just by concentrating on zombies and combat resing it and making it, and then my Tribesmen could charge into the flank of the Vampire Knights, put a hurting on them, and pop that unit, overrun maybe into the zombies, and just try to finish them off. And the Dour One's turn, just in case Tremendous doesn't hold, and they can countercharge that way. Elizabeth comes onto the table, and she goes right behind the Vampire Knights. I remember my trappers and move them up a little bit, and the Combustor runs over to try to put some flaming death into the Skeleton Knights. That's about it for movement. There's a better picture of half of my charges making it. And there's a better picture of Lord Tremendous starting in on the horde of zombies. Oh yes, and my Merc Vets did rally this turn, and they turned to face the Skeleton Knights, who I'm sure are coming in for more pain. During the magic phase, I get the big 3d6 fireball off on the Skeleton Knights, and I'm able to actually slip 2 wounds through on the unit, which is very nice. Now the Merc Vets at least have a chance. And then I get +1 toughness and stubborn off on these guys, so that if things do go left field with them again, maybe they'll pass on a leadership 8 instead of a leadership 5. So, you know, just hedging my bets. We go into combat, and my Yetis do nothing to the Shrieking Horror. In return, all 6 auto hits wound my Yetis and smoke 2 of them. So I have charge in a flank to 6 wounds. I lose by 4. And my 1 remaining Yeti flees. And he doesn't flee very far, but the Shrieking Horror decided not to pursue. He was able to pass his leadership thanks to his general being right there and turn to face. He was done with the Yetis. He wanted new meat, I guess. Then we're here in combat. Tremendous is able to take out, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the zombies. I win this combat, and a few more die. It's not a big deal, and it's just starting. I know the vampires are coming in. I'm just going to try to use combat res to hold them there for a turn so that I can get a good flank charge on them. So here we are in the bottom of 2 after movement, and the undead rise and charge. On the left flank there, his character in with the direwolves charge my fleeing yeti. He continues to flee, and he flees like 11 inches. He really can run. He can't fight for nothing, but he can run. But it doesn't matter because my opponent rolls like boxcars and runs the yeti down in the ruins. I think 4 or 5 of the direwolves die due to dangerous terrain, but he secures the points for the yetis, and can't fault the guy for that. His Skeletonites charge back into the Merc Vets because it was so much fun the first time. Why not do it again? His Skeleton Warriors and his General try to charge my Inner Council and fail and end up where you're seeing them. And of course, his Vampire Knights charge Lord Tremendous and make it. And I think 1 dies due to dangerous terrain because of the water. Other than that, I think the ghouls move up slightly, and his Shrieking Horror moves up slightly to scream at the Inner Council, but really, that's about it. There's a better picture of his direwolves dying and my yeti getting run the heck down. And there's a better picture of his skeleton knights going in for round 2. And there's the vampire knight slamming into Lord Tremendous. I know this is a bit of a gamble, but if anyone was going to be able to pull it off, it's Lord Tremendous. During his magic phase, I do try to stop this, but he's able to raise up like 5 skeletal knights, which is really bad. But by casting that spell, he did it with overwhelming power, and he ended up rolling a miscast 8, which put a wound on his BSB, and it also ended up causing a wound to his vampire courtier in with the direwolves. Then during the magic phase, he's able to get off Invocation or something like that, where he raises a bunch more zombies. I think he raised like 8 or something, or not zombies, skeleton warriors in that unit. I think like 5 to 8 more popped up. I can't remember exactly how many. And then we go into shooting, and the first thing and the only thing that happens in shooting phase is his Shrieking Horror screams at my Inner Council and explodes one of the guys, and the shards of bone that are splattering all over him actually cause a wound to another one. So I got lucky. He only did 4 wounds this time. Oh, that Shrieking Horror's got to go. So we go into combat, and one of my Merc Vets puts all his attacks into the BSB and slips 1 more wound through, killing him because his miscast actually did a wound. And then the rest of the unit is able to swing away and do 3 wounds to the unit for a total of 4, which is exactly what I did last time, but now his BSB is dead, and that's huge. In return, I think I take 2 wounds, 1 or 2 wounds into my unit, and that was all thanks to the +1 toughness. So I believe I actually win this combat, but not by enough to really do anything. I think maybe 1 more knight dies, and that's it. And then that gamble that I took with Lord Tremendous pays off for my opponent huge. I underestimated how many wounds that these guys were going to do. They are strength 7 on the charge. I'm thinking he's wounding me on 3s because he's going to be strength 6. He is not. They have lances. They're strength 5 normally. He needed 2s. I think he did like 12 wounds to me. Something ridiculous. Hit a ton, wounded a ton, and oh man, they did 4 wounds to him. I didn't even have to worry about a break test. They just killed Lord Tremendous outright. It was actually kind of impressive. That unit is just as terrifying as I thought it was. I should have gave it way more respect. And then after their victory over Lord Tremendous, they reform like so. The zombies are actually looking towards my opponent's board edge, and the Vampire Knights are looking at the rest of the middle of the board, just daring us to come after them. So I'm a little desperate now. When Lord Tremendous goes down, I get a little panicky, and so we go over here to top of 3, and both units of tribesmen with characters charge into the horde brick of skeleton warriors. Why do you ask? Because his general is in there. I've got his general locked in combat. I'm not too afraid of skeleton warriors, and I'm hoping that I can massacre the skeleton warriors and kill his general with combat res, and maybe get some crumble checks that way. Maybe pop his Shrieking Horror and the rest of his stuff before this game just becomes completely out of my control. What else? Rufus charges into the Shrieking Horror because I'm hoping just monster to monster that mine will win. And the Dour ones charge into the Vampire Knights because I know I'm going to get beat up, but I'm hoping I get at least 6 Strength 6 attacks in on these guys and maybe pop 1 or 2 more and have the ability to take those guys out before they can do too much more damage. Plus, with the positioning of the Dour ones, it was either they were going to charge the Vampire Knights or the Knights were going to charge them. I might as well get my impact hits, right? And last but not least, Lady Elizabeth charges into the rear of the ghouls just to get them out of the way. I thought about putting her into the zombies, but sheer numbers alone, I was afraid she would get swamped and destroyed. That's it for movement. There's a better picture of Rufus making it into the Shrieking Horror, and all of my remaining tribesmen with my BSB and my general slamming into his Skeleton Horde unit. And I'm actually looking forward to that combat because that is a lot of attacks I'm about to unleash. And there's a better picture of Elizabeth slamming into the ghouls and my Dour ones slamming into the Vampire Knights. And I know that's a sacrifice play for the Dour ones, but I just want to slip as many wounds through on those guys as I can. And Strength 6 has the potential. During the magic phase, Rufus is able to get Blizzard off on the Skeleton Warriors, and now they're -1 to hit me. They're -1 leadership as well, but, you know, what the hell does that matter? But yeah, it's that -1 to hit is huge, and for a bound power level 3 spell off of Rufus, it's worth its weight in gold. With magic over, we go over to shooting, and my trappers, who I have forgotten about far too much in this game, shoot at the zombies and actually take out like 4 or 5 of them. It was an impressive round of shooting for the trappers. Unfortunately, it was really bad placement on my part with the trappers, and I didn't realize until after the fact that they can see me. So yeah. So we go into combat, and my Merc Vets are able to just finish off the Skeleton Knights, which is huge, considering they should have been run down and myrtleated in turn 1. The fact that they were able to rally and turn it around thanks to some augments and stuff like that was very huge. And I'm just going to reform them slightly like this so that they can get back into this fight my next turn. Oh my god, but here it is all the glorious parts of the Bible. I don't even mind telling you. Look at all the skeletons that die. It's amazing. They are steadfast, and he does lose 12 more after the fact, because I believe that is the steadfast rule. You can't lose any more than 12 to unstable or whatever. But yeah, I won combat by 16. I took a wound to my tribesmen on each unit, and that was it. I directed no attacks against his general, and his general flubbed against my unit. It was absolute insanity. Mainly thanks to Perry. He had to hit me on a 4-up, and then with the -1 to hit me with Blizzard on him, he needed 5s, and that's what most of his skeleton guys needed. So yeah, it was beautiful. That unit went from a huge problem to guaranteed points, and I'm super thrilled. Here, however, it does not go that well at all. Rufus is able to do a couple of wounds to him. He makes a lot of 6-up regens. You know, I can't fault him for that. I think I only did 1 wound to him before he got to attack me back, and then he hit and wound with 5 of his screams. I mean, what can you do? 5 wounds to Rufus, so I charged and did a wound or 2 to his 5 wounds to Rufus. He wins this combat and runs Rufus down and slams into the flank of my tribesmen. This Shrieking Horror is going to be the death of me. It really is. It's an amazing monster, so I should be upset, but I'm not. This is a lot of fun. Then in combat right here, Lady Elizabeth kills all but 1 ghoul. Takes 2 wounds for her trouble, because I forgot these little bastards were poisoned. I know it looks like the ghoul turned around to face her, but he did not. There was 1 left. He took him off the base, and he just turned to face. But he did try to pass his leadership check to turn and face, and failed. So, yeah, she's pretty much got that one in the bag next turn. And then right here, I was able to do, I think, 3 wounds to the Vampire Knights. And in return, they did 5 to me. I think they won by 1 or 2, not by much, because I did charge and 3 wounds to his 3, 4, 5 wounds, and I think he has a banner. I think he won by 1 or 2. It wasn't a ton, but it was enough. And I broke and I ran, and the Vampire Knights picked up the Dour ones as well. So I have not thrown enough into the Vampire Knights. At least there's only 3.5 left. So then we go over here to bottom of 3 after movement, and there's not a ton. The Vampire Knights run around to get a better shot at the Combustor because he was out of his charge arc earlier. The zombies charge into my trappers, which stand and shoot and fail to do anything. His direwolves, I don't think they tried to charge anything. I don't believe they did, but they come around to go either after my tribesmen or my merc vets. I think the merc vets. And everything else he has is dead or in combat. There's a better picture of my trappers about to pay with their lives. During the magic phase, he's able to raise up a handful of the direwolves, I think 4, and heal off all the wounds on his Shrieking Horror. So now it's back to full strength. And then we go into combat, and it's beautiful. I throw all my attacks into the Skeleton Warriors. I just need to kill those guys off, and I do. I'm able to murder all of them. I think maybe the tribesmen, what's it called, on the left there, the inner council guy that was base to base with the Shrieking Horror threw his attacks at the Horror and did a wound, but I could be wrong. In return, his general was able to kill one of my inner council, and his Shrieking Horror was able to kill another one, and I won this combat by 8, I think, something like that. I destroyed the Shrieking Horror, popped his general, won the combat, and ended up exactly the way you see it after the reforms. Total 180 on the momentum of this game. I could walk on water at that point. I was so thrilled because honestly, I had already chalked it up in my head as a loss. I was like, damn, I let this one get away with me quick. So this kind of a turnaround, I was very pleased. Over here, the trappers kill 2 zombies, and then the zombies make the trappers part of the unit forever. It's sad. Yeah, the trappers. I really misused them this game, and that's completely my fault. And the zombies made them pay for my mistakes. Thanks, jerk undead. And then, of course, over here, Elizabeth just devours the last ghoul, and that's awesome. At the end of the phase, since his general dies, his units start crumbling. And I think 8 zombies crumble into dust, which is good. Only 2 of his direwolves crumble because he's got the vampire character in with the unit there to use as leadership. And then we go over here to top of 4 after movement. Not a lot. My Combustor moves over to the side of the Vampire Knights because I do not want them charged by. I do not want them to charge a Combustor. Elizabeth shoots up as far as she can go, braving the dangerous terrain to try to give the Vampire Knights a different target. My tribes and my BSB, they back up a couple of inches just to stay on the objective, just to give me the extra points. And I know the Vampire Knights are probably coming after him, but if anyone in this army right now could handle him, it's them. And then my inner council and my general, they separate to surround the direwolves. My character doesn't want to get charged and killed by either the Vampire Knights or the direwolves in the character. And I want to start taking out the direwolves so that his character that's left in there doesn't have anywhere to hide anymore. So maybe I can just, win this game through a board wipe. And my merc vets turn to face the direwolves because the way I see it, if the Vampire Knights charge through the water and get into the flank of my merc vets, then they've earned it. What can I do? During the magic phase, I was able to get Bone Crusher off on the direwolves, and I kill 1 dog. Yay! Damn it. And then, again, I wanted to get toughness off. I wanted to get stubborn off on my tribesman for the eventual charge from the Vampire Knights, but he stopped it. And the reason that he stopped is because he let +1 toughness go off on my merc vets. That was supposed to draw it as the spell dice, and it didn't fall for it, so oh well. So we go over here to bottom of 4, and my opponent throws me a curveball. Not with the Vampire Knights charging into my tribes and with my Khan. I knew that was coming. However, his character in the unit of direwolves is on a spectral steed, so he moves as though he's ethereal. So he charges the rear of my tribesmen, and I'm like, you son of a bitch, that's genius. I didn't see that coming. His direwolves themselves, they just back up a little bit. I think it was whatever it was, like half their movement or something like that, just to try to make my charge of them a little bit more difficult. And his zombies then they turn and they start coming after me. Maybe after Elizabeth, I'm not really sure, but yeah, that's the way movement looked. There's a better picture of his Vampire Knight slamming into my tribesman, which was expected, but that character slamming into the rear of the army, or of the unit, that was just a stroke of genius. I didn't see that coming. I could have had all day to look at that, and I wouldn't have seen it coming. There is no magic phase, there is no shooting phase, so we go into combat, and there you go. It's a little brutal. I leave my BSB out of it. I'm not gonna. No, that's not true. My BSB is in a challenge with this character. He issues a challenge because I think he's the Brotherhood of the Dragon, and so my con ends up in a challenge with him, and I don't do anything to him, but he does 2 wounds to my BSB. His unit of Vampire Knights is able to kill one of my tribesmen in return. I think I'm able to do 1 wound to his unit, maybe 2, and just with charge, rear, and 2, 3, 4, 5 wounds. I mean, it's crazy, but I actually make my break check. I think I needed a 2 or a 3, and I did it. It was blind, stupid luck. Couldn't believe I made my check. And yeah, we stick just like that. So yeah, we go over to top of 5, and I just try to capitalize on my luck. My Intercouncil tribesmen, they brave the dangerous terrain checks and slam into the direwolves. My general slams into the flank. I just want to secure those points. And then Lady Elizabeth gets into the rear of the Vampire Knights, and I'm just trying to throw as much pain into those units as I can to secure as many points as I can, because I think I needed a 4, now that I think about it, to stay. And the only reason I was able to do it is because I had that BSB reroll. Oh my god, did I get lucky. There's a better picture of Elizabeth slamming into the back of the Vampire Knights, and I'm getting desperate. And there's a better picture of my remaining Inner Council tribesmen and Kaka slamming into the direwolves, and again, I'm just trying to secure as many points as I can before the end of the game. During the magic phase, like I said, I get a little desperate, and I throw 5 dice at the big fireball into the zombies, killing 8, which was good. You know, I mean, it did its job. And I did overwhelming power it. I end up miscasting 4 and exploding the combustor. Well, you know what? I had to make up for my lucky break check roll, so I sacrificed the combustor like an idiot. What can I do? It was fun, damn it. And then we go over here in combat, and my tribesmen and my general are able to just destroy the direwolves. I take no damage in return, and they just reform like so, just to see if they can get back into this fight anyway, shape or form. And combat over here goes beautifully, as you can see. I lost 1 more tribesman, I think. No, I didn't lose any more tribesmen. My opponent flubbed spectacularly, and I am able to, in the combat, my con, he did 2 wounds to my con, I ward save both of them, and my con's only got a 6-up ward, so more lucky rolling on my part, 100%. Then he just slaughters that character. He does like 3 wounds to him, or 3 get through, so the character is dead, and then my tribesmen are able to beat the vampires down. I think I kill another one, I do 2 more wounds, and then combat res. Elizabeth doesn't do any wounds, I don't think, but her charge and her rear puts me over the top, pops the rest of the Vampire Knights, and that's where we are at the end of combat. It's unbelievable. And at this point, it's bottom of 5. My opponent looks at the table and goes, you know what? My zombie brick is not going to be able to take out the rest of the stuff you have, so let's just call it. So yeah, there it is. There's the end of the game, and what an insane turn. I mean, just up and down, back and forth, and once again, my stupid crazy luck ends up saving me in the end, and I'm so pleased. Better lucky than good, you know. I need that motto written on my BSB. But But you know what? I'm gonna get to the recap in just a second. I'm gonna grab a drink, and Captain Picard's gonna tell you we're gonna make this happen. Don't even worry about it.
Make it so.
So in the end, it was a victory for Lord Tremendous. My opponent called it in the bottom of 5. I ended up losing Tremendous, the Combustor, the Dour Ones, my Trappers, my Yetis, screw those guys, my Slave Giant, and Rufus. Really brutal game, very small victory party. A lot of crazy stuff in this game. The Shrieking Horrors are amazing. I gotta be honest, glad my opponent only took 1, because I don't know what I would have done against 2 in this one. Probably lost. Those things are something else. My Mercenary Veterans, they worried me at first. The fact that they got away when they broke and were able to rally and come back and defeat the unit that beat them down. God, I love that unit. Really, really rely heavily on that unit. And then, of course, poor Rufus, man. I thought he could take the horror. I really thought he could. And then my opponent made some critical 6-up regen saves and then just punched Rufus in his nose and then ran him down when Rufus tried to go home. Just brutal. There was my army really carried me through this one. The good old boys making that break check and the con. Oh my god. In the very end there, if they had broke, that'd have been it. The game would have been over. Yeah, my Merc Vets could have pulled something off, but it would have been a draw at best. The Inner Council really kicked some butt in the end, and the Vampire Knights. Now that we were playing them with 2 wounds, they were much more threatening when they destroyed Tremendous, my Dour Ones, and honestly, they beat my Tribesmen on the charge. I got lucky I made my 4-up break. But yes, as you saw, this was an absolutely outstanding game. This is one of my favorite opponents. And quick spoiler, I know you've probably already seen it, but our rematch is going to be at 7,000 points. That should be Battle Report number 26, I believe. I haven't, as of this recording, I have not played that game yet. If something happens where it has to be postponed or whatever, then I'll let you know in a future Battle Report. But yes, we are going to be playing a 7,000 points of Ogre Cons versus 7,000 points of Vampire Coven. It's going to be amazing, and I hope it's just as good as this game was. I really do. Real quick, just want to give a quick thank you to the guys that have supported me on Patreon. This isn't everybody, but these are the guys that have given me permission to use their names or send out a little blurb and stuff. And of course, it starts off with Alex of the Vale Renegades, South Florida's Gamermancy team, and Daniel Jolson. Thank you guys. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody that enjoys my videos, stuff like that. If there's anything that you guys can do, if you donate to Patreon, you want to get on this slide, I'll put just about anything on here that you'd like to say to the YouTube community. So please don't hesitate if you want to, and if not, that's cool too. Really appreciate everybody. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Battle Report number 23, officially in the history books. As always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. But yeah, guys, thanks.